Hello everyone, welcome back to the Y4Red talk show, and with me here is
Jennifer Ibebu. I'm the project assistant of Rural Nursery Project.
and this is where we talk about stories from the field. On today's topic, we'll be talking about creative education with our focus on multisensory materials. So are you ready, Miss Jennifer?
I'm very ready.
All right. So our first topic for today is focused on the background, what inspired all of this, what made you put this whole thing together?
Okay, I think it was when I was finishing my nursing program.
Okay.
I traveled back to my hometown, and my cousin that stayed there, my auntie complained to me about the problems she was having reading and writing. And even though she could write words, but it's mostly what she copied off the board. And she was in primary 4 already, and she couldn't read, and my auntie did not know what was wrong, giving her lesson teachers. And me being interested in neuroatypical people and psychology, I knew that it was something along that line. So I told her to take her for a dyslexic test, and she came back very positive of dyslexia. And my auntie was like, Jennifer, can't you stay? Can't you help out? But though I knew I had a basic idea about dyslexia, I was not expert on it. I got the test of someone in school, and I didn't know much about teaching or correcting or helping someone with dyslexia learn how to read. So that really troubled me, and it put me on the path of child psychology and education. So during that period, I met the organization I'm with, Y4Red. I met Y4Red, and I realized that, oh, this place has what I'm looking for. So when I was put in charge of the Rural Nursery Project, during that audio with my cousin, I realized that a lot of places do not cater for the needs of those children. They don't cater for alternative learning. They don't talk about different approaches to learning. All they care about is the traditional method of learning, which right now we should all be seen as outdated. So when I was put in charge of this project, I wanted to bring all those things to the project I was handling. So I started researching on it, and I came across multisensory activities and also play in the role of learning. So I tried to harness that as much as I could.
Okay, thank you very much. So your cousin inspired you to start up all of this. In fact, she helped build the interest to see where you can go with education.
Yes.
Okay, that's very beautiful. So can you give us like an overview of the nursery project? What makes it interesting? What have you learned from the field?
Okay, actually, the Rural Nursery Project is kind of like the baby child of our other project, ELP. When we say ELP, we wanted volunteers to help kids, to teach kids how to read in rural schools. But the truth about the matter is that we were giving them a cure to a sickness that shouldn't have been there. Like a Nigerian saying goes, prevention is better than cure. So we wanted to prevent that learning disparity before it happened. So we decided, why not go down to the basic blocks of learning, to the nursery area, and create a foundation or a system or structure that works. So we went down to the nursery school, and after observation and evaluation, we realized that as much as the students did not have enough materials to learn, the teachers did not have the skills to impact their knowledge on them. So these kids had no materials to learn, the teachers did not have enough skills to actually put those learning in them, to actually substitute for that gap. So that's how the idea of the Rural Nursery Project was born. We aim to bridge that gap, to close that gap. And it is unlike the ALP that is more focused on us teaching the children. We want to teach the teachers and provide materials for the teacher so that they can do their work on a daily basis. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's so beautiful. What you said is so true about traditional education just being about going to school and following a particular curriculum.
Yeah.
Nobody really pays attention to the special needs of these kids. So we have a lot of materials today on the desk. Can you please tell us what this is all about and how we can use them?
Okay, before that, I don't know view, like when I went into the classes, I realized that a lot of times the teacher is just like writing A and B and C and D on the board and saying, okay, everybody, this is A, this is B, and this is C, and this is D, and this is E. And then the kids will be like A, B, C, D. And sometimes, though I think this is also a good technique, they practice air writing and they do not write it in their books. So I was like, when the teacher has exhausted all these methods, she'll be like, okay, her work is done, but the kids don't retain much. So I wanted to bring in new ways the kids would practice the alphabet and put that into memory. One of the methods I thought about was cutout letters. And these cutout letters, I'll filter them with materials. They all have different materials, but some of them have different materials from each other. This one is a little bit rough, so when the kid touches it, gets a rough sense. You can touch this. This is a little bit rough, right?
Yes.
Okay, but not exactly like sandpaper, but it feels.
It's rough.
Okay, can you try touching this one and telling me what you feel?
This feels like a cement, like a plaster. Or
yeah, yes. It's still rough, but a different type.
Yeah, a different texture.
Okay. This one is smooth and soft like quartz.
Yes, this is very soft and smooth.
What about this?
Okay, this is similar to this one, but just a tad bit rougher than it.
Yes, right?
Yes.
And it's hard. And this one has it's not really soft, but it's not really hard, and it's just a nice feel to it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not overly soft, but it has a nice feel to the material.
Yes.
So multi-sensory equipment help engage all parts of the kid's senses, at least one or two. No, at least two or three, sorry. This material, now the kid can see the letters as something physical, and also can hold the letters, and also feel the different material that the letter is made from. And this will engage all the senses, multiple senses of their brains, so it can retain it. Just the same way that when you see food, you smell it and you touch it and you taste it. It's the same way, and your brain stores all those knowledges as different. Okay, that's the smell of rice, that's the look of rice, that's the taste of rice. The same way, your brain will store this in different parts. This is the look of A, this is how A feels.
Yes.
This is how it looks like. So that's the aim of multisensory, to help you gain better memory skills. And overall, kids just enjoy multisensory. And also, this multisensory makes the child more engaged. The child might not be interested in the letters, but the child might be interested in the texture and keep on playing with it. His brain records that this is A, and the more he plays with A and the more interest and attention he gives to it, the more his brain is able to store that. Okay.
Yes, it makes it easier to grasp. If you cannot remember A, you can remember the texture of A.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And another one is this. This is kind of like a pre-writing skill board, but in form of letters. So I guess it can also be writing skills. So this actually helps with writing skills. The kid can have a pen or a marker, or basically a stick, literally anything. Even their little hands, they can use it to trace. Okay, they can use it to trace the letters. You can trace C, L, M, T, C, and there's a Ziploc bag underneath, so it has a very smooth gliding feel. You want to try it out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can see how this could be more fun compared to,
Yes, and it doesn't just help with learning letters. It helps with them learning if they use a stick or a pencil or something. It helps them in how they hold their writing materials.
Okay.
Most times you're meant to use like a stick or a pen, and I put Ziploc bags underneath so that it doesn't get like you can easily clean any markings.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
yeah. So you can just feel, and the kid will just keep on moving through
Yes.
each material. So this helps with fine motor skills and also to remember your letters and your pre-writing skills. Also, we have this one. This one is kind of like shapes and puzzles in one, and it's multi-sensory. I use different materials. You can touch this. This is
So soft and fluffy.
yes.
Yeah.
What about this?
This one is a bit rough on the edges.
Yes. And then this feels like sandpaper, right?
Yeah.
And this.
And then this one is like really smooth.
What about this?
Similar texture to this, but a bit rougher.
Yes. So it's like a puzzle. You can take out the pieces. And have the kids. You can even take out one piece. It can even be a fun matching game. You just take out one piece like this. And you have the kids say, okay, so where did this other piece go? Where does this other piece go? Which one, can you pick their partners?
Okay, this one goes here.
Yes.
And
Good job.
this one comes in here. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And this one comes in here.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, so this actually helps them understand. Some of them they're done in familiar shapes, so it helps them recall their shapes. It also helps with cognitive abilities. Yeah, so they recognize that this is a pair. It helps them understand patterns and puzzles. Okay, and it also involves multiple senses.
Yeah, can I add something real quick? One of the things I observed while fixing this puzzle is it's so easy to identify, first of all. And then secondly, it gives a sense of fulfillment. Oh, I know this. Like when you get the puzzle right and, it's like it's easy and it makes you want to go.
And these are our color cards.
Okay.
Yes.
This looks fun.
Yeah, it's to help kids identify color. Most of the kids in the rural nursery school I go to, I noticed that they don't have a lot of materials. Their walls are bare, and I was like, how does the teacher teach color? So I came up with this. The color shapes are made with Play-Doh, and so because of that, it has a little bit of texture on it. Even you can feel it through the laminate. Yeah, right.
It's a bit rough.
Yeah. And so you can just hold it up and tell the kids to play with it. This is pink and this is purple.
And the shapes too. This is square. This is
This is circle. This is an oval. We have orange here, and we have
yellow.
I can't believe I was thinking of what color this was. Yes. Yeah.
And then green.
And our shades black, and we have a white. So these are color cards. The teachers can pass them around, and like who has blue, who has green, what color do I have? And then you can ask the kid to hold the color and then look around, like kind of like an I Spy. What material or what thing has the same color as the color you're holding in your hand? And they go around and they pick colors, things that have the same shades, and you would be like, okay, this is green, so that's a green object. It's kind of like I Spy, but in a different way. I spy the color in Chibuzo's hand, and they look for that color. And so even though without knowing exactly what the name of the color is, they can figure out these things are similar, and so they cannot associate that this color is green, this is green, and this other object is green. So
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And these are our cognitive mazes. This one is meant to have like a transparent top, but I've not yet gotten to outfitting it with that yet. Okay, I've not yet gotten without. Okay,
Can I?
yeah, I see you chose the prettier one. Yeah, so our cognitive maze games. I know mine is a little bit rough, but it has flowers. Yeah, so the kid or your student or your kid you can have a ball, but the kid can also use his hands, and you try and like it's a game. Maybe your hands are trapped or your ball is trapped, and you need to find a way out. Okay, so how do you get to the exit? And the kid will start from here. Move. Oh, I'll enter you. I'm like, oh no, he reached the dead end. Then like, can you figure your way out? And then you move him back, and they follow here, and they follow here, and they follow here, and they go through here, and they go through here, and oh, maybe the ball slips and goes here, and there's no exit. And you take the kid back, follows here. This helps build like their cognitive abilities to understand patterns, designs in the world. We take these abilities as normal, but kids need to develop this. Look at puzzles, look at things and see patterns, puzzles, and be able to figure it out. It helps build their brains, helps make their brains sharper.
That's really interesting and fun too. So you're learning and playing all at once.
Yes, play, we will not realize it, but as a kid, we don't realize it now, especially with traditional schooling. But I believe that as a kid, play is one of the most fundamental, one of the most fundamental thing about learning. Once you make everything a game, play for a kid, they are interested in it, they love it. Do you you have younger siblings?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God, do you remember when you made them do your chores in form of a game?
Yeah.
You're like, this is how to fold the clothes, who can fold the clothes faster, and they're just all ready because it's a game, it's fun. So we need to learn how to bring fun, creativity, imagination into our schools. If you're nursery kids, you would be amazed at how fast they go.
They could learn, yes.
Yeah. Okay, what does it look like to you?
Okay, this looks like a window, but well, when it's closed, I can see it looks like a shoe.
Okay.
So
I was very expecting that answer. Yeah, it's a shoe. And till now, lucky, I can't tie my shoelaces to stay perfectly. Like every 30 minutes, they're always coming off. Yeah, but this is to teach your kid early on how to tie their shoelaces. And it's the first of a series I'm doing. I will do one of how to learn how to brush your teeth.
okay.
How to do simple things, button your shirt. All the simple things that kids need to learn how to do on their own as an nursery student. We are not meant to just teach our kids. We need to go past 1, 2, 3, ABCs, shapes and colors.
Okay.
And head into the things they need in their daily life. Buttoning their shirt, things they need to learn how to do on their own.
Like skills, yes.
Washing their hands, brushing their teeth, manners, what to do, how to keep clean, hygiene, all those things. And that's part of the things that are in my curriculum.
Okay. All of this is so beautiful, and I can see how they can really help kids to learn and retain better.
Yeah.
So this is also interesting and just lovely. Did you face any sort of trouble or issues bringing all of this together?
Actually, the issues that I had was mostly because I don't just plan to do this as just materials.
Okay.
I also want to make a class setup that reflects play and imagination. It's the lack of hands I have. I'm one person, so I've been a bit slow in producing materials the way I like, and it's not exactly like I'm a crafty person, so everything requires time and slow effort to make sure I don't mess up.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one of the challenges. And number 2 is finding sustainable materials, things that people are willing to let go of.
Okay.
That I can use to make this.
Okay. So how do you make sure that all of these materials are available for the kids in the schools?
I make sure I don't use anything expensive.
Okay.
I use only things that people are willing to give away.
Okay.
So it allows me to have like very, very low budgets for it. So all of these are sustainable things I can still get at a low price.
Okay.
So because of this, I can make a lot of materials for rural schools.
Okay. Okay, that's so nice. Like using the ordinary things we find around us to make this. So have there been any cultural or logistical difficulties you faced in these communities trying to pass across this message or using this new formula to teach these kids?
One of the things that, because of this project is still in the works, I wouldn't say it's something that I've exactly encountered, but it's something I fear. When you introduce play and creativity, especially as a means of teaching, one thing that happens is that the teacher has to deal with all the effects of that. The slightly disordered classrooms and also the documentation. Documenting when you're not following the traditional method is extremely, it's hectic. Yeah. And I've gone to these classes and I've seen the bare minimum these teachers put in. And I am actually worried that this is not something that they'll be able to handle, because it's a huge leap from what they're doing now. What they're doing now is, you cannot even consider it the bare minimum. It's lower than the bare minimum of what the amount of documentation you should be doing for a kid that age.
Okay. So are there any strategies, plans in place to make sure that these teachers are on board, first of all, and that they have the knowledge like they would need to help you? You know, it's one thing to come and teach these kids and then to leave and come and meet them in a different way. So are there any things you
Yeah, like part of the project, in fact, a very big part of this project is teacher training.
Okay.
We're not just going to train them and go. We're going to have follow-ups, assessments, evaluation to make sure that the program is going the way we want.
Okay.
We are not just empowering these kids. We want to empower the teachers. Find that passion that made you become a teacher, because it is, if it is there, it is hiding so well. And I don't blame them. The conditions of being a teacher, like the conditions that teachers have to deal with right now, is so stressful. It's not good at all.
Okay.
But the kids shouldn't be the receiver of that.
Okay.
Those situations, yeah.
Yes, I remember one time we went to a school to teach rather, and it starts to look as though you're peeping into the lives of this teacher to see how good they are. In fact, they feel threatened and they feel like you're just there to criticize their work and bring some sort of attention to them. So I get how this could be like a bit sketchy to work with.
Yeah, I don't know about other countries, but Nigeria has this very negative view on evaluation and criticism, and someone telling you you're not doing something right.
Yes.
Yeah, they are not doing something right. The results show that, the process show that, everything shows they're not doing something right. I do feel like they do need to be criticized or looked into, not in a harsh way, obviously, not in a way that makes them feel less than, but in a way that says, this, see what you should be doing. This will help you get better. This will help your students get better. Because if your job is to teach these children how to read, how to write, how to grow as a person, and they're not doing that, you're not doing your job. You are failing as a career person.
Okay, that's a good one. Getting them involved is definitely part of, in fact, more than half of the work that needs to be done. So have you collaborated, or do you have any future plans to collaborate with government officials, private organizations, or more NGOs?
Yes, actually, we are looking into collaborating with LGEA, because of these teachers get switched from schools. This transfer is done regularly, in fact.
Okay.
So I want to see the effects of my teaching, of my project. So I would want to collaborate with LGEA, the education authority in
Okay.
Ebonyi State to allow me to keep those teachers that I've trained in the schools that I picked so that I can see the long-term effects of those training on the children.
Yes, because part of the brain of children is like familiarity.
Yes.
They do well with people who have been in their lives for longer periods
Yes.
of time.
And if they switch to teachers, I'll have to start training the other teacher from the beginning.
Fresh, yes.
Yes.
That's double work.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to know what roles the teachers or caregivers have, like for the audience. What role does the caregivers or teachers have in making sure that these materials are used and that they are used properly?
Their role is the only role literally that needs, because that's is involved in this, because they're the ones that present it to the kids. Okay, this is how you use them. This is what we're going to do today in class. This is how class is going to go.
Okay.
It's them that set the pace, and I want to show them how to set that pace. The thing, like, I want teachers to learn that these kids are capable of so much more. Like, when you look at other countries and the approaches they have to learning, you are like, Nigeria is so far back. At least not in urban areas. I've seen like the Montessori approach being used. I've also seen the Waldorf approach being used in some schools. And the region media is fairly new, so I barely see it, and it's a lot of work. But I've seen a lot of them being used in urban areas. But in rural areas, we are stuck in the system they use is so outdated that even me, I didn't meet it in my nursery schools. So that's just how I want to say that they play a huge role, honestly. In fact, they play the only role worth playing, apart from parents.
Yeah, teachers are very important in our societies, and investing in them is investing in our own kids. So what are your long-term goals, visions for this project?
Number one, I hope that by the time I'm done, because this project is going to last about 5 years.
Okay.
That is the initial time span
Okay.
that we put out for it.
Okay.
I hope by then I would have trained at least 100 teachers in over 10 schools that can confidently say my kids can read as they're passing out from nursery.
That must take a lot of passion. You know, like this is not something you just do because you want to. You have to actually have a passion to want to see kids do better.
There's nothing, Loki, there's nothing sadder than watching a kid struggle through anything. And at first, you notice that they don't really know what they're missing. But then you meet them in primary 4, primary 5, just 1, and they still can't read, and you can see the feeling of shame. And some of them use pride or arrogance to cover it up, and some try to hide it like this shameful secret. And that shouldn't be the case for anybody. Education is something, like my dad normally said, education is something that no one can take away from you. It's an armor you wear against the forces that try to take what's yours from you in the world. Knowledge is like a protective garment, and we're leaving these kids out there unprotected, unarmed. And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was deep. So what has been the most rewarding part of this journey for you?
Learning how to do these things. I normally have like 2 left fingers.
Okay, what does that mean?
You know how people say they have 2 left feet because they can't dance?
Yes.
I have 2 left fingers because everything I make half the time just like spoils, but like looks like a mess. But with practice, I'm able to make something that I feel like is presentable.
Okay.
So making this material for the kids always gives me joy.
Okay, so how can people watching, how can they support this project? How can they support the Rural Nursery project?
I just have 3 words: donate, volunteer, sponsor, help out any way you can.
Okay, we heard it. Donate, volunteer, and sponsor. It was so nice, even for me, like having this conversation. I learned so much, and I hope everyone watching as well have a few takeaways from this. So that would be it for today's story from the field. I hope to see you guys or talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.